Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This is Doyle. You're listening to Spirit Talk Show, bedtime stories for grown-ups. I messed up. Take two. I won't even do a take two. Bedtime stories for grown-ups. That's part of the show, is all the mistakes are in there too. Yeah. If you guys would like to get involved, go to spirittalkshow.com. We are continuing our series that we're speaking to cool people, artists, and writers. We're talking about their personal narrative. We're hopefully we'll get to read some of their personal stuff, and then of course we do the AI generated stuff also. And we'd like to have cool people on the show. And tonight at Spirit Talk Show we have Jaycee Cames, a poet, a musician, a visionary artist known to the fans as Jaycee Cames, the creative force behind the Ghost Singers. His journey blends loss, resilience, and raw creativity into art that refuses to be pinned down. As a published poet with the urban rhythm and rhyme, poetry for the next generation, James explores love, pain, and self-discovery through words that feel both urgent and timeless. With Ghost Singers, he pushes boundaries further, blurring genres in his debut album, All Mixed Up. Tracks like the cheeky anthem, Boom Boom Booty, sit alongside the electrifying We Gotta Fight. A pop electro anthem spotlighted on Slash Music for its explosive energy and fearless emotion. Through poetry, music, and performance, James reminds us that art can carry grief. Messing up I don't typically have someone watch me for this part. James reminds us that art can carry grief, laughter, and hope all at once. A living playlist for the human heart. Hey, Jaycee, thanks for coming on. I know we've already talked for like 10 minutes here.
No, this is great. I love it.
So
podcasts are meant to be not perfect, right? It's just like everything in my book. It's funny, I have friends who are very literal artists, and they're like, there's spelling errors, and it's supposed to be urban. It's supposed to be urban rhythm and rhyme.
But also, yeah,
it's not supposed to be perfect. Life isn't perfect, so.
Well, my niche that I found, the people who are listening, and our listenership has exploded. We're at like 200 and almost like 250K of listeners and 12,000 subscribers. I think what they like is that we mess up when we talk. Like all that, how I kind of did the lines again, I might leave all that in because it's authentic, it's real. And I think like AI sometimes creates things that are too perfect. Yeah. And people want a little flawed, right? Do you go by Jason or James?
I go by Jaycee is good. That's kind of like my. It depends on what capacity. So James Casey, aka Jaycee Cames, is sort of my producer, music persona. Okay. The creator of the Ghost Singers. So
the Ghost Singers. We will talk about that. But you grew up in Hollywood.
Yeah,
right?
I grew up in North Hollywood, born and raised. My mother was actually, she's an Air Force veteran. She spent 30 years in the Air Force as an RN nurse, 50 years as a nurse. Really hardworking woman, but I'd still describe myself as kind of a latchkey kid. My dad was a writer, self-perceived writer. Lots of alcoholism, sociopathic, narcissist, but I had a lot of experiences with him that kind of shaped my creative outlooks.
In a positive way? Or
positive and negative. When I was younger, I that's where a lot of my poetry book comes in. It was some dark places between my upbringing with my father and my sister was disabled, so I was constantly taking care of her. And then my first wife, the relationship there was quite dramatic, and there was some stuff that that happened. So
I think people envision the fantasy of a family growing up in Hollywood as like this this fancy Hollywood family, but we all have our
not in the 80s. The 80s was crazy. I mean, if you even look at one of my favorite people is Drew Barrymore, and she's obviously super successful now. As she did not have the pristine upbringing that you would think that somebody of her caliber would have, and a lot of her inspiration comes from a little bit of dysfunction. And in the 80s in Hollywood and Los Angeles, it wasn't all pixie dust, you know?
Like Drew Barrymore, aren't the Barrymores, didn't they do radio before her? Like they were a known entertainment family, right? Wow.
Yeah, she grew up in like kind of legacy, but...
Well, so you kind of alluded to your book. Let's talk about that. You have a book called Urban Rhythm and Rhyme: Poetry for the Next Generation. And so what AI said is James explores love, pain, and self-discovery through words that feel both urgent and timeless. That's what AI said about it.
Yeah. Well, that's quite a good description. So I put together this, I would write things on napkins. I would write things whenever I felt inspired. Writing poetry was always kind of an escape for me from, my living situation, from my relationships, whatever the case may be. And so I've been writing poetry at the point when I kind of finished this book. I actually finished this book 10 years ago, and I'd been writing poetry for 25 years just on whatever. And so I just took all these little pieces of paper, these notebooks. I had probably had 5 notebooks full of stuff. And I was like, I got to get this poetry out to people because I feel like the words needed to be heard by others, and people needed to know that they weren't alone in their trials and tribulations and their emotions and things like that. So I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people who can kind of relate to certain poems and things like that, and that's kind of what I was going for. Also, I'm also finding in the book I mentioned in the kind of the preface that if you feel inspired by what's in here, pick up a pen yourself and fade away and discover yourself a little bit more by writing your own poetry. And I actually have some fans of the book and of me and the music that they're taking heart to that, and they're sending me poems that are just beautiful and amazing. And so I'm creating a whole new creative process. Me as a person, I like to inspire. That's one of my biggest goals in my life, is to inspire others to be their best selves. And, I'm obviously still searching for my best self, but I've been through some things, and sometimes it's good for people to take shortcuts and talk to people who've kind of been through it before and ways to make your life easier. So
I listened to some of your music, and I know online it describes it as blurred genres, and because I mean, the Dear Daddy, is that what it's called? There's one called Daddy, Dear Daddy. It kind of has a bit of a kind of like a techno rock kind of sound to it. But then there's one on Spotify. I wish I could remember the name of the other one, but it had a kind of a country sound to it, and so it's kind of like a mixture. Is this what by the way, we struck about the ghost singers. We could talk about that, the origin of that in a second. Yeah. But are you trying to blur genres? You're trying to have country that has a rocky feel? I
definitely am, and you kind of see mainstream artists doing the same thing. They're still typically, like a Post Malone or, whatever crossword. I mean, there's been crossover artists. Taylor Swift, for instance, who's really in the media right now. They cross over. So they start off in a certain genre. They create whole albums around, say country or pop or whatever, wherever they start out at. And then they cross over. And so I had thought originally when I became a songwriter, and that stems from kind of the death of my sister. I wrote my first song, really. I've been writing poetry forever, but I wrote this first song called Joanna Song, after she passed away of COVID in 2023.
Oh my gosh.
And I got it composed. Actually, one of the only ghost singers that's a real person helped me compose, and I wrote the song. and they put out this wonderful thing, and I played it at her funeral, and it was like in front of 500 people, and they said, you need to be a songwriter. You're amazing. So that's what kind of the birth of the Ghost Singers stems from that first song.
So you said that the only one written by, so these are AI-generated? These
No,
are AI?
so I write all my own lyrics.
Okay.
Everything that is been produced by the Ghost Singers has been written by me. I think you actually had a guest on who talks about, the blurred edges between, if I need a word that rhymes with, dumb or whatever, you obviously can use Google at your disposal, but everything that is written was storytelling. So everything on my album is storytelling. And you talk about the genre blurring. So the name of the album is actually called All Mixed Up for a reason. And in the title track of that song, it talks about, the city, the country, the, different aspects of people and bringing people together through music in different genres. So I wanted something that kind of represented a playlist of just different feelings, different emotions, different stories that everybody could relate to. Maybe you listen to the whole album, and there's a song you like, there's a song you don't like, but then there's a collective.
Well, you've such a range of songs. You've got the Joanna song that obviously very heartfelt, but then you have Boom Boom Booty and We Gotta Fight, right? So there's such a range of if those songs are on the same album, it'd be hard for everybody to like them all, right?
Yeah. I mean, originally when I thought of Jaycee Cames as kind of a songwriter artist, which is what I was going to originally go with, I thought of him as this country music persona. I was going to release a country music album. Actually, I had a name all picked out called Southern California, and it was going to have Whiskey Kisses on it, and it was going to have the other couple country songs that I have on there. And I kept writing, and not all those songs sounded like a country song. So, and I wanted to use them all. So then the birth of kind of the Ghost Singers and AI helped me. So I wouldn't claim myself as a musician. I am my musical instrument is my voice. I play a little guitar, dabble on the piano here and there, but I wouldn't call myself a musician. I'm a pure songwriter artist. Yeah. And I was able to take this wonderful technology that we have now and turn my words into the what I think is beautiful music, and a lot of my fans do too.
But in the industry, we call like a director makes a movie, and we know he doesn't do everything, right? Yeah. But we call it his movie, right? So it doesn't have to be. I don't know. We kind of have this thought sometimes that we have to. For me to truly say I'm the creator of this, I have to have created every part of it myself. Yeah. Because directors have editors and filmmakers and. Where did Boom Boom Booty come from?
Boom Boom Booty come from?
I know.
Boom Boom Booty. So,
and have you got it played in clubs yet?
That stems from, I think there's been a couple. I've had some publicity done out over the pond over in Europe and stuff. Yeah. I think they're playing some stuff over there and in Morocco. I have one of my video artists who create a lot of my music videos. He's from Morocco, and he's been kind of passing this stuff around. Yeah. But I mean, that's the hope. I would love for a Pitbull to come and do a 30-second spot on Boom Boom Booty. But Boom Boom Booty stems from just my love of women and the female figure and just I mean, one of my favorite songs growing up was Sir Mix-a-Lot's "Baby Got Back." And,
oh my gosh!
And even the J-Lo booty songs, and I was just like, man, if I do a musical album that's also blurring all the genre lines, I mean, I might as well throw a booty song on there. Just for some selfless love.
Well, it couldn't have a different tone than everything else on there. Yeah. So was it a conscious? Did you consciously say I'm going to blur these genres, or did it just happen naturally in the process?
Yeah, and if you actually really listen to the album and the way the songs are curated, in itself, it sort of tells a story of different aspects of my life, and in the song prior to Boom Boom Booty on the album kind of tells its own story. I think it's that time in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so if I think about that time in Mexico of this kind of infatuation I had, and then you think about what Mexico, and you go to Mexico and you go to these nightclubs and these things like that. So I threw Boom Boom Booty in there after that time in Mexico purposely because it's sort of like that time in Mexico, and then you end up in this dance club, you know, with the Boom Boom Booty and this whole aspect of it.
I've watched the video. I'm probably not into women as much as you are. I'm not into women. I'm not like totally gay. I'm not into women. You know, I was married to a woman for 16 years.
Definitely.
So, well, let me. You know, I realized we're like talking, and I didn't even do my intro. So I think I'm gonna have to do the intro and edit it at the beginning here. I don't typically edit because I like it to be very like natural and something. So, which is cool. I'm going to do the intro, so you'll get to hear your intro, and then I would like you to possibly. We'll do a few more questions, but then to read a tribute story. There's a tribute story we wrote to you.
Okay.
And that's not all AI. That's based on research. I did some of it myself, and then a poem based on your work and what you do, and we even have a little play that we can do if you're into that, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me just go ahead and do the intro here. I'm gonna say Doyle, 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 and the reason I'm doing that is because my editing program can find words, and so I can find out where this is when I'm editing it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me go ahead and do it. So let's talk a little bit about so your album, the All Mixed Up. So you've produced it. It's out. It's on Spotify.
Yeah, we released it July 1st. It's on Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, pretty much everywhere you get music. I use a distribution company that basically just puts it everywhere. And then I have some media outlets that are, helping me out.
And you're working on the follow-up album, or is that?
I actually am, yeah. I'm always writing. I feel inspired by, various things, love, heartache. I'm going through kind of a lot of that almost all the time, actually. I'm just I wear my heart on my sleeve. So
yeah, cool.
I'm always feeling something, whether it's for my kids or for somebody or whatever the case may be. So I'm throwing around the idea for the next album. It's going to be obviously the Ghost Singers, and the title track on that one is going to be Wild and Free. Okay. And so I'm still kind of writing a lot of it. I have a couple songs that are ready to go, just waiting for it to be developed. I'm sort of trying to really get the All Mixed Up album. I'm really proud of it as my kind of freshman album. So I really want to get that going. I actually have another music video coming out for the title track, All Mixed Up. It should be out maybe in a couple weeks. And that's really fun and exciting.
Okay, if we can coordinate when that comes out, because typically this would be a release sometime, if it was on my regular schedule, we're probably recording something for late October or November. But if we can also coordinate it with, like with when you have something actually coming out.
Okay.
And so we can talk about that. So what do your kids feel about your music? I know I have two sons who roll their eyes when they listen to my show. So what do you?
Oh my God, my kids, my little girl, Isabella Rainbow and Calliope Sunshine are the light of my lives, and they are probably my biggest fans of my music. We spent many, many days on the way to school. They go to school in Agua Dulce, California, and it was like a 40 minute drive from North Hollywood to Agua Dulce before I kind of moved to Acton with them, part-time at least. And every morning we would just go through the album over and over again. And they were actually the ones that helped me curate the order of the songs. Every morning they would tell me, my girl Isabella was kind of the DJ, and she's like, play, All Mixed Up first, then play Daddy, My Dear Daddy, and then play, Whiskey Kisses, or whatever the order is. And so eventually she just would say the same things every single morning. I was like, that's the order of the album. Well,
that's great.
And so actually Daddy, My Dear Daddy was inspired by them as kind of a retrospect song of, how, as a father, how I hope they will think of me one day if I'm, old or not here anymore, or whatever the case may be. And there's actually a really cute music video that I put together with a lot of their footage of them growing up. on YouTube, Daddy, My Dear Daddy. And at the very end is probably the cutest thing that I've ever seen, you know, from a father's standpoint. And my daughter Calliope and Izzy are kind of playing my guitar, and Calliope comes in and just says, "Don't panic," and it's just the cutest thing ever. And when I think of it as a father and moments with my children and just life and trying to live in this world, I'm always panicking. So I just kind of watched that, and my daughter, who's at the time was 4 years old, is just saying, "Hey, Dad, just calm down. You'll be fine."
Is this something like "Don't Panic" is something that she would have heard from you, or is that something you?
No,
say?
It was totally off the cuff and just genuine and just kind of funny, and it means a lot to me internally. It probably means nothing to other people, or maybe as a parent or a father, you'll watch the video and you'll see that little part and you'll go, "Oh, I kind of get it," you know.
Well, we all have those things with the kids, and if you're not a parent, you can't understand. I told you that my own 18-year-old son is moving out like this weekend, the weekend we're recording this, but which is that's hard because people who don't have kids don't know that it's a little piece of your heart that lives outside your body and then goes and lives somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's really hard. So, do you want to read your tribute story?
Yeah. So okay.
So would you like to read it?
This on?
So what I did is I did the research. I looked you up, and then I put it into a file, and then I take the file, and then I tell AI, I tell a structure what I'm looking for, and then like AI kind of produces something, and I go through many what's the word I'm looking for?
Variations.
Variations. That's like I find when I like. Now you can read the story yourself. I can read it to you. Typically, I have Howie, my producer, here. He's obviously not here tonight.
Yeah.
So would you like
I can try to read my tribute story, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is
This is kind of funny to see something that was created
for you, yeah.
For me,
so
about me. Okay. So
I'm going to teleprompt it as we go. Like it's there and it's there.
Okay.
So it's quite short. It's just like one paragraph here.
Okay. So here is created via AI.
AI and kind of half AI and me,
yeah,
internet research.
All right, so via Doyle and AI tribute story for Jaycee Cames, a.k.a. James Casey, the creator of the Ghost Singers. So it's called The Poem That Became a Song.
Dun, dun, dun.
Before the beats, before the stage lights, there were words. James Casey began as a poet, scribbling lines of rhythm and rhyme meant to capture love, loss, and longing. Those words lived in the passages of urban rhythm and rhyme, where they spoke to readers in quiet moments of reflection. But poetry alone wasn't enough. When his sister Joanna passed away, silence threatened to swallow him whole. Indeed, James turned poems into songs and songs into performances. We Gotta Fight wasn't just a track, it was a manifesto. Boom Boom Booty wasn't just a joke. It was proof that joy could coexist with grief. The Ghost Singers was born out of the transformation, a living reminder that words can become sound, silence can become music, and grief can become a bridge to resilience.
So how do you think it captured you?
Wow, Doyle, that's pretty intense, man. I got like chills over my body because you really kind of captured. There's a lot of things in there that you captured for sure. I
think you expressed that your daughter, for a Freudian slip, your sister passing away was a big part of your inspiration. And I noticed you reacted when it said the silence threatened to swallow you whole. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's perfectly written in that sense. When I have made a lot of decisions in my life, in the path of my life. I always kind of call myself Peter Pan. Like the boy who never grew up, never left Neverland. And a lot of that was because of my sister and my undying love for her and wanting to make sure that she was taken care of. So just kind of a background on her, because I gotta throw that in there just so people kind of understand. So my sister was disabled in a wheelchair, and she had this disorder. It's very rare. Only 10,000 women in the United States have it. A couple males do too if they have a double X chromosome, but it's called Rett syndrome. And she was basically like a 2-year-old her whole life. I'd say 1 to 2-year-old her whole life. So she had to be fed. She had to be, taken care of as far as the restroom and fed and wheeled around and just really cared for like a baby her whole life. And especially as my mother got older, I just felt like I needed to stick around and be a part of that. And we always had these visions that she would kind of outlive my mother, and so I was her conservator, and so I would be the person to take care of her. Yeah. And then COVID came around, and we were good for about 3 years. And then in January 2023, they opened everything back up, and she went back to her adult day school. And in June, she got COVID, and 3 weeks later, she was gone. Wow. And so it kind of tossed my world up. All the things that I had done, I went to school, close by to college, and had a career close by, and just kind of stayed near home, all kind of for her and the family. And so when she passed away, it sort of like kind of turned my life into an upheaval, and I started kind of questioning why I was making all these decisions just, for her when she wasn't here anymore. And so, a lot of things have changed since she's been gone. Life is very different now, and it's kind of good that I feel like she almost had to leave for me to find my higher purpose, which is always to help people and inspire others. And I wasn't quite doing that. And now that she's gone, I'm writing, music and more poetry, and I feel like I can really help people in a different way, where I don't have any strings attached anymore. I'm sort of like full force.
So what if, for all the artists and people who are listening to this, what advice do you have for the people who have all mixed up in them right now? What are the steps they need to take?
I think, obviously I write songs in kind of a different way than most musicians would. A lot of musicians, they get out their guitar and they start playing a melody and strumming, and then the words kind of come to them. I do it kind of the opposite. I write the words first, and then obviously I have a melody in my mind. Yeah, so I'm always a poet first. And so I would just say, get the words down or get the melody down, and just keep going. Don't let anybody second guess you. I've had a lot of soothsayers in my life who's, you're not a musician. What are you doing writing music? What are you doing music? But especially now with the tools that we have available to us, I mean, you can kind of do anything you want to do. And so don't listen to those who say you can't. If you have a power within you and you feel like you have a higher purpose and a goal to inspire others and yourself, just do it.
And what I'll add to that is it's never too late. Like I started this podcast, 3 years ago, and I'm in my 50s, right? Yeah. Because it's never too late. We do get into this mode of when you're past 45 that you're starting to wind down. When I'm not a wind down kind of per person. So I'm be doing this for like 40 more years. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like life is just starting at 40, and there's the old saying of when's the best time to plant a tree, and it was 10 years ago or today.
30 years ago, yeah.
30 years or today.
Well,
and so always plant those seeds today, because you will see the fruits of your labor in the future.
But the tree is a good analogy for what you're doing too. Like as you're creating this, you're planting a tree that, like in your art and your music, but you may never bask in the shade of the tree or the glory of it. It's for the people in 30 years or 20 years who pick it up, and they're the people that might, like when your daughters become adults, and they're like promoting dad's work all over the world, because they become like music promoters. Yeah. And then so it's kind of like you're making this stuff that might not be appreciated for like 2 years or 20 years, and they'll bask under this shade. So, like, how do you connect with your audience? Do you do Facebook, poetry? Do you do like readings? Do you do concerts?
I'm really horrible at this social media thing. I'm getting better. I have, I do a lot of pay to play sometimes. I do my best to be genuine and put out posts and stuff like that. And so, I mean, really, what I have found is when I put my music in somebody's ears, that's all it kind of takes is for them to listen. And so if I can do that on a grander scale, I think I'll have a lot of people who are listening. And
well, I like that. I'm kind of eclectic in my taste, and I don't really. People always say, "What bands do you like?" I don't like bands. I like songs. And so if you look at my Spotify playlist, it's such a variance of musical theater, all the way to 80s people, all the way to James Taylor, like all the way. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And some British bands too. And I enjoyed your music. I listened to it. I had it. I listened to almost the entire album, which is unusual for me to find a new piece of music and listen like to the whole thing like that. So I think there's something there, right? There's something there. So, but talking about poems, you're a poet. How are you going to feel about like reading the tribute poem we wrote?
The tribute poem. How is this different than the?
Well, I mean, it took like something else, and it wrote a poem. Now, you're going to notice when you read, like, it's AI generated, but I changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
AI tends to be a bit pedestrian in the way it writes the poem, like the way an 8th grader would write a poem. I mean, like they think
it follows the rules.
It has to rhyme. It has to. Yeah. But you're not going to get
poetry like that, though.
What?
I'm an 8th grader at heart, I guess.
I mean, I think most males are just like 14-year-olds with a credit card. So I get that. I'm a 14-year-old with my own car, a credit card, and a place to live. I don't have to go to bed when anybody tells me. Although my parents never really told us.
Although we should. That's why we're always tired as dads, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah, sometimes I have my kids half time, and let you have your kids full time.
I'm half time.
Okay,
yeah, sure.
And I notice the days that are at my house, I tend to stay up far too late because I let them stay up too late. To be honest. Yeah, my ex is listening to this saying, you do.
That's a dad thing, I know. And then you give them back and she's like, why won't they go to bed?
Or why do they always come back sick and tired? I also find that, and I don't know, I'm talking about divorce now. We're both divorced men. And I think when you first get the divorce, you kind of overcompensate a little bit, like giving them food they like and letting them stay up and, like getting them ice cream when they like at 10 o'clock when you shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
But you kind of overcompensate a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, it's funny. We're kind of incognito separated divorce and we're kind of finalizing some things, but our kids don't know. We definitely have like a separation where they do know, I'm like, I have them sometimes and mom has them, but a therapist told me a few months ago, like, if you guys get along and you can co-parent, there's no reason to make some big announcement to your kids that,
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, my youngest sons thought like, he said, why are you guys not married? You're like best friends. So he thought we were, because why? You don't bring kids into it. You don't bring, and it's hard at the beginning and, it gets better, but let's not talk about that much.
But it's good. It's good that you're friends and it's good that, me and my ex are friends too. It makes for great children.
I'm not sure I would say I'm friends with Amy yet. I wouldn't say we're friends. I mean, I'm willing to go there and step into that place, but I don't think she's fully there yet. Or maybe that's me projecting. So, okay, well, we talked about, I think it's the first time I've talked about divorce on the show.
Well, so it's life. It's part of life, divorce and death, right?
Okay, so here's your poem, okay? I'll let you read.
All right. Okay. So this is a poem, not mine. This is generated by all AI or some you?
It's some me and AI. I kind of built the structure and then AI helped me put it together. Yeah.
Okay. So surprisingly, this poem is called We Gotta Fight, which is also a song on my album. So we gotta fight for the spark in the dark, for the whisper of hope, for the flicker, the mark. We gotta dance when the night feels too long, turn sorrow to rhyme and silence to song. We gotta fight for the dream in the flame, for the voices unheard, for the ones without a name. We gotta laugh when the pain pulls us low, 'cause the ghost singers rise every time that we show. So carry the beat, let it echo and climb, your story's a verse in the poem of time. We gotta fight, not with fists, but with art, with laughter and music, with love from the heart.
Okay, so I always like when I have an AI-generated poem, but it's AI and me, and you being a poet, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong? What's good?
Honestly, I like it. I like it a lot. It's I don't know. It actually is kind of how I would write. I'm a rhymer. I always rhyme. So,
Because we're eighth grade graders.
I mean, I like just positivity. So I don't think there's anything. I would have to sit here and probably analyze it. But from a reading standpoint of somebody who never saw this before, I think it's pretty good. You know,
I liked it.
It represents a lot of what I believe, which is, I believe in love and laughter and music making you feel good, or maybe not good at all, maybe bad. Whatever you're feeling, you can always put on a song, and it will emphasize or de-emphasize whatever your emotions are at that moment, and make just make you feel.
Well, I like it. I like the line for the whisper of hope, for the flicker, and the mark. Yeah, I noticed, and I didn't notice you put a few extra words in there when you read it, but people always do. Because you said without a name, but it's okay. I know we always tend to do that.
Yeah, I still had to make it my own, Doyle.
You had to. You just can't resist.
I couldn't resist.
You had to.
Yeah. I had to add
tweak it a little bit.
I had to add a little something.
You give me little notes to my poem, is what you're telling me.
The artist in me.
Give me some notes. Oh my gosh. Well, if you had to give a inspirational thing to say to people who are listening, we got people listening. My age group tends to be my big. What's the word I'm looking for? The demographic is 25 to 45. That's my 78% of my listeners are that age. So what's the message? What do you want to tell them?
Well,
listen to your music, of course.
Listen to my music, buy my poetry book.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inspiration there, but I would say the biggest thing is follow your heart and follow your soul, and hopefully, if you're a good person and you love to love and like to help others, just follow your heart. Don't listen to the soothsayers. Mm-hmm. Success was always built on failure. So even if you feel like, you're stumbling and you're falling, and, just get back up and keep going. And if you have a mission and a passion, you'll hopefully get there eventually.
Okay. And you're doing it, and you're living your dream, and you're making music and making poetry. And like me, it's like you're probably not making your full living at it yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bartending on the weekends. Great barbecue restaurant, by the way, called River's End.
In Santa Clarita.
In Santa Clarita, yeah. I'm the handsome weekend bartender. They hired me as a DIY hire or DIE. I don't know, whatever that is.
Oh, the DI. Oh, so all the gays could come in and buy drinks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the diversity hire, because the whole front of the house was all women, and so I went for karaoke one night, and the owners actually wanted to hire me as a band, and I told them I don't have a band. I write music, but I don't really play. I've tried to get a band together a few times, but everybody's always busy doing their own thing. So that's why I had to go about the Ghost Singers in this manner and just get it done, because I needed my voices to be heard.
Where's the name come from, Ghost Singers?
The Ghost Singers is basically kind of, I wanted it to be mysterious. Obviously, it's AI generated, and each singer has a different personality. You don't really know who they are. They're mysterious. I actually have a stage show in the works around the album that I want to eventually do. It'll be a little bit of theatrical vaudeville and drama, and it's not going to be your typical rock show. You're not going to come and see a band on stage playing instruments. You're going to see a show.
Are any voices repeat, because you're doing these AI generated? Mm-hmm. Are any voices repeated, or is it a different voice for every song?
No, I like to think that each song has a different voice, has a different story. I've started to create kind of the back persona for some of them, and even on album number 2, Wild and Free, I think that some, obviously with AI, some sound similar, but there's always some variations to the AI. And so just creating a story is really, really what I want to do. Not worried about, well, the first thing people used to ask me when I first put out music and the album, number one question is, who's the artist? Who's singing it?
Yeah.
You know? And I would kind of tiptoe around it. And, so then I just felt like the Ghost Singers was a perfect thing, because no matter who's singing it, it's the Ghost Singers.
Okay. So the ghost, as in, it's a kind of like, this show is called Spirit Talk Show because of the spirit of AI and the spirit of the story. So it has like a double meaning. Yeah. That's the reason I'm going with now. It's also because it started as a ghost show for actual.
And I wanted to talk about ghosts, man. I was excited to talk about some ghostly stuff.
Let's talk about ghost stuff.
Yeah, we've done the AI stuff. Of course, there's a lot to talk about AI, but I'm sure you covered it.
But you have ghost experiences, personal ghost?
I definitely do. I mean, that's one thing that I think when I met you, in Agua Dulce, is you had mentioned about this podcast. It started off as a ghostly podcast. Your house is haunted, and I felt like I've lived through that a little bit. My house has been in my family for many, many years, and people have died in my house, but obviously very, very naturally. But even people close to me who've been there for holidays and things like that, so have passed away, and I've sensed some weird things in my house, and I can only explain it in that it's ghostly, spiritual, extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial.
I mean, I literally have stones in my pocket. I do the whole chakra thing. I have an oracle in Sedona.
You have stones in your pocket right now.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
there's stones that have some chakra type. Okay. Crystal. Okay. Am I allowed to touch?
So please get the energy. So I have a yellow tourmaline stone and a green stone, and so the yellow one represents kind of a power of fire that's propelling me to greatness, and the green one is sort of for the calm, because with all of that yellow stone power, you need a little bit of calm to balance you out. I actually did a oracle reading with my wonderful oracle Jess in Sedona, and when they did my aura reading, it's like this computer generated thing. It's almost AI in itself. And it was like off the charts. And this was right at the crux of when I was writing my album. So I actually wrote most of my album in Sedona. I wrote 9 tracks on that album. I obviously had Joanna's song all done long before that, but so there's something special about that place, and again, it's very spiritual, extraterrestrial. But back to the house stuff. So I took a picture a number of years ago of sort of my adopted grandfather. His name was Papa, we used to call him. And somebody took a picture of me in the house, and he had been passed away for about 3 or 4 years. And it was an old film camera that they don't really have, use anymore. They use all digital. And when I developed this picture, you could see streaks of what looked like Papa in the back of this picture. And he had been gone for a number of years. It was new film.
You can see his figure, you mean?
Yeah, like his figure. It was this, it's hard to describe it on radio, but it was like a little miniature him in kind of the foreground of the photo, but like 10 of it. It's like a fading image.
Weird.
And it was in my bedroom in the house I was in. And he had a big impact on my life. Like I said, he was sort of an adopted grandpa from my first marriage. But that was ghostly. And then when my sister passed away, she absolutely loved country music. And half the reason why I do a lot of country music is kind of for her. I feel like she's listening and would just love to hear my music. And so on occasion, the TV now, she's been gone now 3 years, will turn on and the country music station will come on.
Wow.
The country music song will come on. And nobody in my house anymore turns on that station. My mom has her own little thing. She's very actually religious. And she has religious television that she watches. So most of the time, if you turn the TV on, it's something like that, or maybe political or whatever. And so, I'll be standing in the kitchen, and all of a sudden the back TV will just turn on, and it'll be like a country song. And I'm just like, that's wicked crazy.
I mean, creating. Are you staying in the city tonight?
I'm staying in Sacramento.
Did you have you booked a hotel yet?
Yeah, I'm staying over at the Best Western.
The reason I was telling you is because if we planned this right, and you're still welcome, I have an Airbnb at my house, and it's empty tonight.
Yeah.
You could come back to the haunted house tonight. So the back of my house is all
crazy.
Is all Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I rented out. We should have had you come stay, so you could have experienced the haunted house.
Yeah. Check it out.
It's kind of on your way back. You're driving back to LA tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow. Actually, I own a piece of property over in Gold Country, so I was thinking I'd go and walk that around. It's actually an old gold mine.
What's the town?
And it's called Coulterville. So you want to talk about ghostly things? There's a lot of weird stuff that happens. Because
I live in Gold Country. That's where I live.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure where Coulterville is.
Yeah. Are you like near Placerville?
Pretty close to Placerville.
Yeah.
You're going there too?
Well, my aunt and uncle live in Placerville, so I was sort of making the rounds while I'm up here. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Like 20 minutes from. I'm like 20 minutes from Placerville.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So cool. Wow. So your ghost experiences are around your own family and your own house, right?
Yeah. Usually it's some type of spirit. Like when my father passed away for a little while, I feel like he crossed over pretty quickly. But he was hanging around for a couple months. There was some weird stuff. Like I could smell cigarette. He used to smoke and drink a lot. And even up until he had pancreatic cancer and he was on oxygen, he would sit in the bedroom in the corner on his oxygen machine, smoking his cigarettes and drinking his little shooters of brandy or whatever. Yeah. And you could walk in the house sometimes and you could still he'd been gone for a long time. So you could kind of smell like somebody was smoking a cigarette.
Wow.
And it was odd, and you might get like a whiff of liquor or something, and it wasn't just me drinking. It was like,
well, pancreatic is one of the bad ones, and it's usually pretty quick.
Yeah, it was funny because he also he was a fighter. I always had these kind of visions that I would, I was dreaming and I'd walk down the street and I'd find him in a gutter because he was just kind of one of those weird people, but. He loved being on the streets. He loved acting like he was homeless, even though he wasn't. And he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and they gave him 3 to 6 months to live, and he ended up living 3 years.
Well, my mother went from pancreatic cancer too, and from diagnosis to death was 1 month. So it can be really quick for some people to. I mean, admittedly, she was probably diagnosed in late stage 4, but. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it can be, but 3 years in pancreatic is a long time.
Yeah, so part of it was my mother. I don't know if I think I mentioned that my mom was in the Air Force and she was an RN nurse for 50 years. And she, even though they were divorced, she claims that he was the love of her life still, even all the stuff he put her through. She kind of still hung on to him, and he moved back into the house, and she was basically his caretaker. And I think the reason why my father lived so long was the love of that woman. She has an incredible heart, and just her ability as a nurse to just take care of somebody, even though they wouldn't take care of themselves. Like I said, he would still sit in the corner smoking and drinking and doing his thing.
And your mom's still around. So
yeah, my mom's 85 years old. She's still mourning the loss of my sister. It was just like her best friend. They were together. They've traveled across the country together. Her travel companion and buddy, and really, really her best friend. And so she's kind of getting through that still, even after a couple years. But she's kicking, and she's where I get kind of my moral grounding and generosity. She put me in Saturday school when I was a kid, and as an adult, I kind of resist organized religion, and I'm very spiritual and moral. But a little bit of that comes from Mom.
Wow, it seems like she was a special woman and is a special woman. Kind of my mom and sister were kind of the opposite. My mom went and was my sister's best friend, and she's still mourning after. No. But it's been like 12 years since my mom lived. So, hey, do you want to do this radio play here?
The radio play, okay.
The radio play. Now, it's in 3 voices because I typically have a Howie here, so we're going to have to decide. So the characters are, the narrator is reflective and grounding the scene. It's defining what a narrator does. That's weird. And there's James's voice, earnest, vulnerable, and creative. Is that you? And the chorus voice shifting between cheeky club energy, boom, boom, booty, and ghost echo, echoes of resilience. We got fight. So so do you want to do the James voice, and do you want to do the chorus voice too? You want to do two, or do you want me to do?
Yeah, I can. So what are we doing here?
Okay, I'll do the narrator. We're going to create this verbal like radio scene. I'm going to describe the expose stuff, right?
Okay.
The scene opens with a faint heartbeat. Ba-dum, 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 a single piano note. Bing. Okay. In the silence of loss, there's a choice to stop singing. Sorry, my mouse is messing up here.
Take two.
In the silence. In the silence after loss.
Have you ever done this before?
No. Yeah, this is my first time. I know. You think I've never done a podcast before. Hey, it's real, baby.
Oh, yeah.
In the silence after loss, there's a choice to stop singing or to make music out of the ache. From that silence, the Ghost Singers was born.
My poems lived in notebooks, words meant to heal. When Joanna passed, silence tried to take my music away, but instead, I fought back with sound. Don't stop, keep singing.
Oh, you again.
Boom, 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 booty on the floor. Life is short, dance harder, laugh louder. Even in grief, there's a beat. Even in loss, there is rhyme.
All mixed up, where the funeral hymn and the dance floor anthem live side by side, where sorrow and joy share the same stage. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing because I was supposed to be, but I'm saying this is a lot more intense than I thought it would be. The music is ridiculous. Music blends, plus bass, plus ghostly harmony.
We gotta fight for the spark. For the dream, for the fire. This is the Ghost Singers. This is how we carry the past into the future song.
Because sometimes the only way to survive silence is to sing. Curtain closes. Okay, that was ridiculous.
that was kind of crazy.
That was ridiculous.
I didn't know if I was supposed to sing it the whole time or...
I don't know. I think you made it work, and it worked. Okay,
I guess it worked. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sure.
So that's funny. That was mostly.
I think we needed more spirit in there.
I needed to be more, and I didn't realize that your parts were going to be most of the lines. So that's fine. It's not like I'm saying, "Oh, I didn't get to do lines."
Yeah, I think you needed to give me a dry run first.
Yeah. Oh no, there's no dry run on this show. Baby.
We're all on the fly here.
I think it worked out. I think people like watching people struggle through things like that. And I will, by the way, share this document with you, so you will have access to all this if you want.
Yeah, very cool.
Or I can destroy it. Also have the
No, don't destroy it. This is a part of my story.
So when
my hero story.
Can I have you? Oh, your hero, your arc.
Yes.
So when you're big and famous, will you come back on and I can have?
Oh my God, I'll come on whenever you want me to.
Wow.
I mean,
Cool.
I love to travel, and like I said, I have some property up here and family and stuff. So I am more than willing to come back whenever you invite me. Okay.
But is there any last message here before we sign off?
No, I just if you feel inspired, pick up a pen. That's what I always tell people. Pick up a pen and make the only way to be heard is to create, and so just create. So Jaycee Cames, right? Yeah.
So tell people where they can find your music, where they can get in touch with you.
So you can find my collective, the Ghost Singers, on all music platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, even on Denzer. I've never really heard of Denzer, but we'll give them a plug anyways. They're a little guy out there. YouTube Music. So just search the Ghost Singers, all mixed up, and you should find it. You can find my poetry book on Amazon. Make sure to Google Urban Rhythm and Rhyme, Poetry for the Next Generation by James Michael Casey. That is my poet's name. Carried on some of my father's inspiration there, and other than that, coming soon will be the music video for All Mixed Up, or will be out when we play this. And then to come is the Ghost Singers, Wild and Free.
And where do people see your music videos? So you don't have a website. But you have social media.
Yeah, it's in the work. Maybe by the time we get this out, we'll have that up.
Okay.
You know, I'm a starving artist.
Yeah.
I use people on Fiverr, and you know, got this wonderful artist guy of mine in Morocco named Assam. He's putting together some amazing music videos. He's done a lot of my music videos and some of my social media stuff. So I thank the heavens for him. And yeah, you can find all my music videos. I have 5 out right now on YouTube. So search the Ghost Singers and All Mixed Up, and you can find my stuff there. And obviously by the song names, I got Daddy, My Dear Daddy, Whiskey Kisses, My Little Coffee Girl is a really, really fun country song that I have out. It's about a girl who's always hungover, but coffee gets her through the day. That's and we can all relate. A lot of us can relate to that, especially if you're a coffee drinker. And then we got Boom Boom Booty, the club banger. So if you feel like dancing and jumping up and you got a big old booty, put on some Boom Boom Booty and shake it.
You don't even need a big booty. Just go, go to a club. Just something about when you're a club in the middle of the dance floor, and a song like that comes on. It's so perfect, and you're all just like moving together. You're moving together and jumping, and
that's exactly the vibe that I wanted Boom Boom Booty to have. I mean, when you hear that song, and you know, I think of like just a group of women just having a good time, maybe at a bachelorette party or just something crazy, you know, having a good time out, and Boom Boom Booty comes on. You can just feel so energized and just shake that booty.
What you said was joy and laughter and like bringing joy to people, and that's probably like the key, right?
Yeah.
Wow, very, very cool.
Joy through music.
Well, I think that's what it's about, joy through anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I better do my outro. Hey, if you guys would like to get involved, go to spirittalkshow.com and come back and listen to all our past shows on there. Of course, you can see them on Spotify and all those places one finds podcasts. But thank you for coming, Jaycee.
Yeah,
and
thank you, Doyle. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, have a good night.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for spending time with us. Now go make a story worth telling.